welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing something I haven't done in years, and that would be programming in C Sharp. It's yelling at me to reload an extension in CodeOSS that just I've tried, and it just doesn't do anything. But yeah, today we're gonna start a new project. We're gonna start a text adventure game, and yeah, this should be interesting because I have very little expertise in C Sharp console applications. I have done more graphical applications that uh, use WinForms. For people that don't know what WinForms are a part of the .NET framework. They're uh, a desktop application that basically would be useful in a database setting, um, where you could have your fields listed out. You'd have your labels, and then your fields that you wanted to have populated with three buttons to insert, update, and delete. With a list box, I find works really well, and that's just commonly what I did was use a list box with a data source. When it comes to console applications, those do work a lot differently in terms of input checking, and yeah, that's just not going to be fun. So come along with me as I use a console application to make a text adventure game. Yay! So I know you guys probably can't see it very well. Let me see if I can. I think it's is it Control Plus. Hopefully, okay. You guys can see everything now. Ignore GitHub or the Git source control. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is a very basic console application. It's got the console.writeLine hello world, which is standard in the console applications. So, what's the first thing we're going to do? I want to show a welcome message. I'm actually going to delete this comment here. I'm going to delete all of that. I'm actually going to see if I can move a little closer to the desk and hopefully center my chair a little better. We're going to take a break at roughly about noon. It is 10 minutes to 9 right now, so do do be aware that I do plan on taking a break, and we're going to add a comment here that says welcome message, and we're going to do. I don't think okay, the shortcuts don't work, so I get to do the fun console dot write line hello maze escape, and then we do \n, and I'm going to do one new game, two, one, and then we do another line break there, and then we do quit. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've done this, and I'm actually gonna make sure it works right. So we're gonna go down into the terminal here. I don't know how well you guys can actually see the terminal, so then we're gonna hit dot, come on, dot net run. Oh, mm, oh, the simplest of errors. God damn it. Alright. Then we hit save. .NET build. .NET run. Okay, so it does work. I wanted to make sure my syntax was right. And then we have to do... I suppose we could do an int conversion. But I don't necessarily remember how to do that. Like, I mean... I don't... I also don't have IntelliSense either, if you guys couldn't tell. So we're doing this all without IntelliSense. So then we're going to create a char. Option. And then we could do console read line. I'm pretty sure there is a conversion. And if I remember correctly, it is in fact char equal or option equals console.readline. And people will be like, so you're going to constantly build and run it? From string to char. Hmm. I don't want to do a string because somebody could break it. I don't remember how to do this. Convert. Wrong language. I almost did C++, but we're in C#. Char.toString. Part of me is like, that's not going to work because I'd have to do option, and then we'd have to convert it. So then I would go... I know I'm doing it this way. String. I don't want the object, I want the class or the variable type, the data type, and then readable option equals option dot. Oh, I need using statements. That's right. God dang it. This is not going to be easy without IntelliSense. So what I mean is usually at the top of these files you're going to have a using statement, and I'm actually going to go to GitHub and see if any of my other old applications do. I do have a few C# applications that are graphical, so, and I know that's not going to be of any use, but, oh, guess the number works. Oh wait, that's C++, dang it. Yeah, there's a few. So really, what we're going to do, I'm going to see if it recognizes the using system directive. And then dot. I'm going to see if .toString will work in this instance. This is me going in almost completely blind. Okay. Are you missing a using directive? Hold on, wait a minute. I actually wish I could read the output on the terminal. Local variable option. Unassign local variable option. Oh. So instead of doing this, do this. Gotta love using code OSS. I'm gonna comment that out for right now. I will, if it. Dang it. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same issue. Does not contain a definition of toString. Maybe it's just my syntax being terrible. Let's look at the. So that's. Okay, I'm looking at Microsoft's example, and it says char ch equals single quotes a console.writeline ch2string, which is just going to make the output this. Um, okay, so I just did a string in like my other applications where I had like uh, specific options. So like I've done something like this before, and honestly, like this isn't even my first time like creating a game in C# console applications. But I'm gonna point out like, oh, it, I'm actually curious. So I think I chose one over the other just because there is like no. Okay, we're gonna remove these. I'm going to clear the console here in a second, and then I'm gonna resize it down a little bit. There we go, just so it's not cluttered. And then we're going to go string. Wrong string type. String option equals console dot read line. I'm hoping this works. If this is I'm almost willing to bet it's either this way or you use the variable as a parameter. I'm not the best programmer when it comes to console applications. I'm going to say that right now. Oh? I suppose I'm going to do. I just want to do a switch case because that just seems easier. Well, not easier, but cleaner in a way. Switch. Actually, we're going to do 4. I'm going to. Well, no, we would need to do a 4 option equals an empty string. But for this, what we're going to do, I should probably do this, okay? Because I can definitely see 4 option is equal to that. We'll just cut and paste because it's. I'm actually going to add a line above this as well. Because the user might not know what the heck they're doing. We're going to say console dot write line. Oh, forgot my quotations. Would you like to slash n or backslash n, so wrong one, start a new game. Quit. Okay. And then before I forget, don't forget your semicolon. I'm also going to pull up Discord because I have a feeling that my girlfriend may not like the stream message if she sees it because she's going to look at that and think I'm I will honestly say I am not the best programmer, and my stream message, like the go live announcement, is time for me to not do great at programming because I'm not the best programmer. I'm actually probably one of the worst that I know. Um, that and I haven't used the knowledge that I have had in quite some time, like the knowledge of C sharp, even the console applications. The very limited knowledge I haven't used. So I'm like, okay, let's go do this. Let's learn. Always take time to learn something. And this wasn't even my original like project plan for today. My original project plan was a web form, or not a web form, a web application in ASP. So then we do case or switch for option. Actually, these could go in that, I think. And I think for this one, just for brevity's sake, let me see if I can do this. We're going to experiment with this. case. New game. And I think with the multiple cases, you would do. Okay, I gotta look at something. Okay, so then, okay. You would just. I was thinking you would do the colon on the last case. New. Oh, wait. It's gotta be. No! No, I didn't want to do the new keyword. I wanted to do this. New game. This is why I was like, oh, do I want to use if statements or do I want to use switch cases? Um, because I've tried to do like an RPG that's used the console application type, and I've used cases a lot, and it's just, oh boy, this is going to be interesting to see. Wait a minute. Why is there two? Why is there two program files? Like, I'm not even kidding. Ooh. I'm looking at my own GitHub repo and is borked. So, yay. New game, and then there's new game and new game, and then we will say console dot right line. I don't really know what to do for this first one, so I think I would just say you wake up in a maze. You enter the maze and have. You enter the maze. Is I kind of want to say like it's dark. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what to do because it's one of those. It's like you enter the maze, and it is very dark. What should be the first thing you do? And what do what do you do? And this is where your switch statements can get a little messy. Right? Um, so for right now, we're going to just add a comment here saying add in code for options for the player. Oh god, what did I do? No! Control Z. Are you kidding me? For the player. And then code for options for the player and break. And then case. And I know there's potential for more cases that the player could use to break the game. But, you know, that is what it is. I'm actually going to grab a Mountain Dew quick. I don't want to drop that, so I will be right back. Alright, so let's continue. Yeah, and again, I do know there are more cases and I can add them in too. It's just I have to think of every single option. And I'm probably going to limit myself to like 3 or 4 options per switch case. Oh yeah, I was working on. Hold on. There. Yum. And then case. Quit. I think it was another adventure game in C++ that you used numbers. So I had to do conversions. And I do remember that one. And I think that's what I was looking for as well, was because switch cases in C++ you can only use numbers. At least um, the version of C++ I used back in what, 2019? I don't remember when I'd worked on that project. And then I think you do application dot exit. I'm If I remember correctly, it is application dot exit or system dot application dot exit. People will be like, oh, and I'm going to say, just hey, before I even test it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put in just a console.writeline here, saying error code not programmed. It's one of those. I'm like, I'm gonna move this one because I don't want a full can of Mountain Dew on the floor. And people are like, why are you doing it this way? I want to write my code. My code is not going to be the best. Oh, I just saw that. I just saw that right there. Okay, what yelling at me for? Did I forget another frickin' semicolon? Yes, I did. God. Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on a minute. CS 102. Huh. Line 15. Console dot write line. What? 1488. Oh, I did miss one. And by proxy, it got mad because the next line was apparently missing one. Okay, we're down to 2. Is it the same thing? Invalid expression. 5. Line 5. Oh, that shouldn't be a 4. Never mind. That should be a while. I'm an idiot. Why did I think a for loop was going to work? Because for loops, you need for int I. I'm just using the basic setup. For int I equals 0. Some condition to compare against I plus plus or minus minus or whatever operation you want to do. The reason it was getting mad about the invalid expression is I tried to use a for loop as a while loop. Don't do that. 3 warnings now. Application does not exist in the current context. Okay, I'm going to look up that specific command. Application. To see if I can even use it. Dot exit. C#. I'm actually curious. Oh, that's why it's not working. So it would be another one. I saw this. I saw the application. Application.exit versus I think it's like environment.exit. That's WinForm. Environment.exit. Interesting. So this is actually something that I remember using in my WinForm application was usually application.exit or system.environment.exit. And then form close, I can tell you what form close does. Form close will just close the form and not kill the application process. Application.exit and environment.exit would probably. What's the. This is actually something. So then I would. It would probably just hang then. I'm not sure. Closing. Console. Application C or C#. Hey, there we go. Close. Top answer. Environment.exit. Application.exit. Environment.exit 0. Environment.exit actually works. The reason I'm looking into this is I've. Oh wait, that's from 2011. thread sleep so this delays it for 5 seconds. Oh my god. Like, seeing this made me go, really? I forgot you could do that. That's... And I'm going to display a console message. Console dot write line goodbye. And system dot environ environment dot exit, and then give it the error code of 1. Or you could return 0. Yeah. I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. If it's WinForms, it's probably not going to work. So I had to look up another way. I'm not. I don't think Code OSS has the autosave function. I will look into that. Unassigned local variable option. That's not a local variable. I didn't think it was. Option equals double quotes. And then while oh, I didn't take it in, did I? Oh, wait. And then we do and I know people will be complaining about scope, but it's at the top of the fucking thing. Right? Oh my god. So I have to create. Okay. So that's why it probably isn't working. God, I'm a stupid prick. But I'm also used to Windows being like, oh, we're going to auto generate this for you. Okay, here's what we're going to do. And I know people will get mad. We're going to Control C. We're going to backspace. Because what it is in your main, like in your program, it's got a bunch of. It's got a main function which will automatically run. So my brain was thinking it would just run without the main function. I'm a I'm a dumb. I'm not very bright today. Okay, so what the hell is the structure? The structure of the class? I'm not even sure. So then we're gonna do namespace, and I'm going to look at that. Use the name, the space of the project. Public static void main string string array args. Why is none of that actually looking like it's gonna work? Oh. Oh. A minute. I'm just gonna do this. I'm using an old C# console application for reference on this, by the way. Public static void main. Actually, we're gonna call it game. Game. Oh, main game. And we'll just do main. That makes more sense. String. Now this should work. Oh boy, do I feel dumb. I just wasted an hour going, huh, it's working, but it's not working. So, yeah. Man, I feel dumb. And it makes me wonder, this is not going to be a smooth stream cycle, but I'll get better as I continue to practice and learn about console applications and relearn C#. So then now everything should work. Welcome message. And I'm going to do working title. Working title. Type new game to start new game, a new game. Type quit to quit. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot I needed a main function for it to work. Because, good God, do I feel stupid. I feel incredibly stupid right now. And I literally went, oh, wait, that's probably why it's not working. Yeah. I ended up just using an old C Sharp application to get the class structure down because when I generated the project files for this project, it doesn't give you a proper main class to run, so you get to do it yourself. And honestly, this should all be in a separate file, but for right now, I'm probably going to keep it in one file. I might, since it's going to be small enough right now, I'm just trying to figure this out here. So then we hit enter, and then we do string option. I'm going to try and keep the same variable names that I had before I deleted all this. Option equals. So technically there was no scope, and that's why it was getting mad at me. There was absolutely no scope. So we'll have option be blank right out of the box, just a blank string. Actually, we shouldn't even do that. While. Okay, I'm slowly trying to pick all this back up and failing at typing. Option is equal to this, which that is an empty string. Or it should be. I'm actually going to look up string.empty. See if it's actually a thing. That that's a good question. Use whatever you and your team find the most readable, which yeah, and like I've always I've always had the mentality of there's more than one way to do things, especially in programming. But my brain is like, I want to make sure like I'm actually doing this right and not just initializing a string, and then it has data in it, and it'll go, oh, because I will have a default case that goes, oh, command not recognized. I don't want it to do that. Um, so I'm like, oh, did I, do this right? And yeah, it's one of those. I'm very nervous because I haven't done one of these streams in a while. So bear with me here. While option is empty, we're going to hit, we're going to have a case or a switch that uses option. Actually, I should have just called it menu option. considering that. Hold on. I didn't create string menu option menu. Man, I am bad at this today. Well, I'm a bad programmer in general. That's just my opinion. Switch, and we'll have case. New game. Case. New or new game. And for now, we're going to do a break. I actually want to make sure that all this is going to work, so we're just going to put in a little bit of just random console. What am I doing? I can just console.writeline. New game. And then I think I just bumped my mouse, so give me a second here. It is currently 9:40, so in about 2 hours I'll take a break and I'll have lunch. Case. I'm gonna put an extra space here. Quit. Quit. And then we will do system. Actually, we'll do system thread. And I think an appropriate amount of time for the system thread would be 5 to 10 seconds. 5,000. And I should actually see if there is a line to clear the console that I can use in C#. Goodbye. And then we do system dot environment dot. Actually, let's do return 0. That's just easier. Now, time to start the build process, which isn't that hard. But before I do, I'm going to clear, and then we're gonna. Oh, 4 errors, huh? Option. Oh wait, did I go? Um. What's it yelling at me for? Something about the CSproj file. The name option does not exist in this current context. Oh, I forgot to change the switch to menu option. Because that's all it's yelling at me about. It's like, it doesn't exist. And then use of unassigned local variable, which, okay. Three warnings now. System.thread. I thought it was system.thread. Oh. And is there any returns void? Okay, so then I have to do system.environment.exit. Okay. Because it's saying, it was saying like, uh, returns void, a return keyword must not be followed by an object expression, which is saying, hey, it wouldn't return 0. Oh god. Yeah. No, this is me trying and failing. You know. So then boom. Should be saved. Let's see if we dealt with it. There we go. Let me try to clear it again, because again, see if it. Oh, we have one error this time. What line? 24? And it was just that. So now, theoretically, this should all work. 2 errors. Program CS1119, use of unassigned local variable. Menu option. It's within the scope of the class. The main argument. You know? Menu option, menu option. Equals. Let's just try this then. See if it gets mad at me about it. God damn it. There we go. Because it's getting mad at me. Oh. Also, I forgot a break statement here, which will just break out of this case. And I'm actually going to add in a default just because I'm going to make sure I do this right. Okay. I'm going to add in a default once I know it works. Oh, I didn't save. God damn it. Hey! And to run, we hit .net run. New game. Oh, I know why it borked. So it worked, but I forgot to do a console read line here. Then that'll break the while loop because menu option will no longer read menu option or as an empty string. So I have to think of something. Because I don't want it to just stop running if the user goes to the default case. Okay, it's not like C Sharp where I could compare the cases potentially. Um, so I suppose the first thing we're gonna do is I could do it like this, actually. Console dot read line, and then we do menu option equals console dot read line. There. Theoretically, that should work. Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna get chewed in chat with somebody going, "You're not the best programmer," and I know I'm not. Don't worry. I'm well aware that I'm terrible. Okay, saved. We're gonna run the build process again. Oh, once again, I forget this. And then build it, run, see if it works. New game. Okay, that actually worked. Quit. Goodbye. And that was about 5 seconds, so that works. Basic text based menu fun times. Oh, and that took an hour and 5 minutes, roughly. So this is all the functionality we need for this. So then in the default, we're going to set menu option equal to this, because that will be the first thing it sees, because it's going to go from top to bottom in the code block for default. And then we're going to go console dot console dot write line, choose one of the two options. And I'm going to go unrecognizable unrecognized command. All right. And then of course we have to do a break. Theoretically, the menu option setting it to an empty string would actually work, but I'm not entirely positive on that possibility. Uh, Save it. And yes, I'm gonna test these before I continue. So we know the first two work, the first two cases. Um, Converting null literal to possible non-value or possible null value to non-nullable type. Okay, I'm gonna look into that another time, and we're gonna hit run. Right? So we're gonna hit 2. Okay, so it's okay. We're gonna hit new game. Hey! My theory did work. My theory worked. Of like, hey, I could just set this back to this. I actually never thought to try that in any other console applications. That is shocking. Yay me. I actually did something. Um and this is where it's going to be like we're going to have a new string and call it a different thing. And there's a reason I went from calling it option to menu option. Because I already just know I'm going to need a couple of, like a lot of strings, because the cases are going to become just numerous and not fun to work with. And it's still telling me to restart my extension, but it's not restarting the extension. For people that are wondering why I'm using CodeOSS on Arch Linux, uh, the Microsoft distributed Visual Studio Code is not necessarily available. And then there is VS Codium, which I'm not 100% sure if it's on Arch Linux or not. So uh, that is something to keep in mind. So I'm using CodeOSS with the .NET SDK, which has a bunch of commands, which actually allows me to build uh, cross-platform applications, which is a lot better than what .NET Framework actually would do. .NET Framework was only for use on Windows, and you could only build Windows applications. .NET, .NET, or as it was known when I was in college, .NET Core. Visual Studio actually called it .NET Core. Allows for more cross-platform development. It is friendlier to other platforms like Linux or Mac and even Windows. There are a few. Hello, hope you're doing well today. Thank you, you too. I just am not doing all that great at programming. Mind you, it's been a long time. It feels like it's been a while since I've touched C sharp, so yeah, this is going rough. But I can do this. Let's see, where was I? Oh, I was trying to come up with a beginning. So I just created this so I could actually test this. So we no longer need that to say new game started. So, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Console right line. You walk in to the maze. Actually, we'll do a just say you walk into a maze. I honestly, I've never really. I would be honest. When it came to like what I'm doing now, when I learned C sharp, I was doing WinForms and ASP web forms. Um, but good luck. You got this. But no, for people that want to know, I've been using PowerShell and Python for a while, but I just started C sharp. I don't really know much about Python, but then again, the one, I think it was Computer Programming 3 in my last year of college. Bear in mind, I have an associate's degree, so it was a 2 year degree. They had us learn a whole bunch of languages, and it was the basics. And I had never went on to learn Python in an in-depth manner, even though I probably should. You walk into the maze. eh, but for people that want, a little bit of knowledge base for me, I know C languages, specifically C Sharp, Java, and C++, web languages such as ASP, PHP, and we learned JavaScript as well. I also have worked with Salesforce. I have 0 degrees. You're fine. I've been doing sysadmin for about 15 years and never PHP. Yeah, I know, right? I hate it. Gross. Um, I actually was looking at VitalSource the other day to see, because I was trying to find like my C++ book, because I was actually going to buy it off of Amazon instead of renting it for 180 days, like I did in college. And I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I used VitalSource to get the PHP book. Let me see if I can find that stuff, and I want to see exactly what. Yeah, I learned PHP, and I remember that because it was not fun. I remember just I called it torment in a way, because to me that's what it was. Are you gonna work? Hey, you work. We're gonna update that. And can I look at the bookshelf? I want to look at the bookshelf. Um, bookshelf. Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I've got 4 books. I've got a systems analysis and design book. I've got a PHP and MySQL, Maroc beginning Java, and Absolute C++ with the Maroc ASP book, and then a Maroc C Sharp book around here somewhere. It it might have gotten lost during my move last year. But yeah, no. I've also done Android development, which was a pain, especially with I think it's Hypervisor, not liking Android Studio's emulator. So that was fun. I wanted to learn Kotlin at one point, but I never really found the resources to do so. Do you love Linux? Yes. Uh, do you run Linux as your OS? Yes, I'm currently running Arch. Um, I like Arch just because of the flexibility and the customizations you can run. I don't customize my machine that much, but I just I've grown to like Arch over the years. Actually, fun fact: I learned C++ in college running a Linux Mint VM, which was kind of pointless because Visual Studio has C++ plugins. I just put Mint on my. Mint is a good starter distro. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Mint. Um, so I hope if you do find yourself enjoying Linux, I hope that you're enjoying Mint or enjoying using Mint. Sorry. Uh, and I mean, it took me a while to get into Linux myself. I again, I used. Oh, just a heads up, your mic gain is it could go up. I've got you maxed out, and you're still pretty quiet. Yeah, hold on. Let me go into OBS here and see if I can fix that for you. Okay, let me turn that up to. Oh God, that's too loud. It was in the yellow, almost at the red, so I'm trying to find a happy medium here. Perfect. Okay, I hope that's better. Oh boy, what you are now is great. Okay, that. Oh, yeah, no. So I started my first actual interaction with Linux, where I actually started trying to learn about it and use it, was Mint. Before that, I just used it as a web browser machine using Kubuntu on an old PC. So, and that was back in 2018, 2019. Um, and over time, when I started programming on Linux, it was okay. I like Mint. Then I went over to something stable. Well, Mint is stable. I went over to Debian and then found Arch. So, uh, other than that, you know, getting .NET to run on Arch was a bit interesting because I use Ubuntu for kiosks machines when I worked for college in their IT department, but that was it. Um, I honestly, I think my biggest thing about Linux for what I do is I kind of regret using it for like Unreal Engine development because I can only publish for Linux. Um, if I wanted to publish for Windows, I'd have to get a Windows machine, which I have a desktop. I just need to get it up and running. And I also need to get some new uh, SATA drives for it. But yeah, like game development is not necessarily the easiest when it comes to trying to do cross-platform on Linux. So that's probably my only main drawback. Most development nowadays, I think, is done web. It's web-based. Salesforce is the cloud. They actually. Funny thing about Salesforce, um, uh, let's see, what do I remember? Because it's been a long time since I've used and programmed anything for Salesforce. Salesforce, the way it works is it is a shared. Think of it like a shared tenant architecture. Everything needs to share resources, and I actually didn't understand Apex and unit tests because I never learned how to write unit tests. That was something that stood out to me was in order to use Apex code as a Windows sysadmin and now dev, Windows is terrible. Yeah, but I could see the use cases for people wanting to use it for development because it is natively supported. It is probably one of the more widely known and probably more popular operating systems. So I can definitely see that. Um, And I can say this, and I've talked about this a little bit just privately. As much as I don't like Windows, if I wanted to like branch out and do console development, I would need to run Windows in some way. But I do agree that Windows is not the best. The last time I tried to install Windows Update just wouldn't let me update. So I'm like, because it will yell at me and go, "Hey, we need to update," but then we can't update. So that's on you. I also try to run a debloat script because Windows is just so bloated with like extra software. Um, so I run Chris Titus Tech's Windows debloat script if I have to run Windows. I can thank my roommate for showing me that. He's more of a tech head than I am. He's like, yeah, no, just if you're gonna run Windows, run a debloat script. Debloat the entire thing. I used to work. Uh, that's bad if everyone who's working on the OS does not like the OS. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna do some thinking out loud here. So I usually okay. So I just updated my machine today. Would I need to update it on Friday? To be fair. Oh, that's cool. Um, let's see. Okay, so that works. That case works. But let me see if I can. Now I'm curious. Now you've got me wanting to go look at Salesforce stuff again. Uh, let's see. Because from what I remember, there was actually stuff I thought about when when developing in Salesforce that made me go, this reminds me, they had Visual Force pages that reminded me of ASP pages, like ASPX pages. Um, and I went, oh, that's cool. It reminds me of that. I should start, I should program stuff for that. And one thing I remember once again with Apex, it is a Java like language. And in order to upload stuff to your Salesforce org for use, your code coverage has to be at 70%. I don't know why, because code, like, I don't understand. I didn't understand that, and I probably still don't at this point. But it's, you know, one of the things they do it for security reasons. Um, and yeah, it's fine. I mean, Salesforce is a platform that has its uses. It's mostly going to be for businesses and trying to maintain customer relationships and all that. It's a CRM service, so I'm like, ugh. I remember that going, oh boy. But I liked working with ASP in Visual Studio because the designer made it easier, and that was just so nice to quickly throw together applications. And then when I went back to school for game design, they had me learn, they had me go through an intro to programming course. Um, that was interesting because I had been through C Sharp before, but it was all uh, graphical, working with databases, and I always call it MSSQL, but it's TSQL. Um, and I was actually showing my girlfriend, who's a CS major, a project from that time, and I was telling her this is how bad of a programmer I was. I screwed up my final project to the point it didn't run. However, I still passed the class, so that's all that mattered. And I realized what I did when I looked back at the source code and I went, oh, I did a stupid thing. I don't know why I didn't realize it back then, but I realized it now. And to be fair, I enjoyed programming, but games were also something that took a lot of time too. And I was working on both at the same time, so trying to balance the school and the hobby got to be really hard. Um, and I was open with my instructors about it too. Like, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. I'm going to use the basics of this to go do this. And they were like, yeah, go ahead. Do it. You're smart enough. And I look at them and I go, but I'm not smart enough. I am very hard on myself. For the better part of like an hour, I was beating myself up because I forgot that I needed to generate the whole class because the program.cs file doesn't generate any of this when you run .NET. You create a new .NET file. So I kind of forgot that I needed to do that. So, but no, I'm sorry for getting off on a tangent, but I'm actually smiling. I don't know why. Where's my Mountain Dew? Unless it's math. Math is not my favorite. Math tangents are not my favorite. Let's see. No problems have been detected. Output. I want my terminal, please. And I'm gonna just clear it quick. I'm actually gonna see. I'm gonna do sudo. I'm just making sure nothing's been updated yet. If I work with computers. I work with computers because I'm bad at math. I work with computers because I can't write and I'm being honest. I'm bad at math, but I think my love of computers is unrelated. I have cerebral palsy, so I cannot walk nor can I write very well. So I've been kind of dependent on computers and machines. I actually had an idea for an application that would allow me to check to see if my chair is even charging because my chair's in the garage, which I can't easily get to in the winter. And I kind of started trying to see how that would work and if it would even be possible with how old the wheelchair is. So, yeah, that makes sense then. I mean, we can all be nerds. It's just my path to getting a programming like a if actually I you know what I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you something. We're all nerds. It's just our paths are gonna be different. My path to getting a programming degree, which I just call it a programming degree. The actual title is a hell of a lot longer, and it's it's a mouthful. So I think it's like computer information systems programming specialist option. That's exactly what it is. I'm actually curious. What other classes did I take? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, cool. It's the first result that comes up when I type in the abbreviation. Uh, where is their portal? I'm not a fan of that. Academics. Maybe we go here? I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to find, like, that's their social media. I think it's. There it is. There it is. And my information is saved. Oh dear. I see that. I see that picture. Uh, alumni? Maybe? No. That's not it. My student info? Ah. What other classes am I missing? And I'm just gonna print. So I'm missing a bunch. I didn't even say how I got into databases. So I've said I've talked about using TSQL through Microsoft's SQL Management Servers thing. I don't remember the actual name. I've done MySQL. I've done. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So I've taken 2 database courses, a web design course, a couple web courses, web development courses, some Java, mobile app development, advanced object oriented programming, app security, systems analysis and design, or as I call it, SAD, because it made me sad. How long have you been programming for? 2020 is when I graduated. That's when I graduated. If you want to talk game programming, even a little longer than that. About I started using Unreal in 17. No, man, don't worry about it. Believe me. Um, I sit here and I go, yeah, I've done very little. I feel like I haven't done a lot in the programming space, but I always feel like even working the jobs like I did part-time work in fast food, it was funny because I got bored. I used to get bored at work, and I would go, I know how this works, and I would run through my head how everything works, and I tried to explain it to someone, and they're like, "Whoa, I have no idea what you just said." And I go, "Yeah, but this is how it works. There's a database with every menu item, and it's stored on a server, and even the orders are stored in a database." Because they have to be able to interface with the kitchen, because the kitchen's got to see what orders need to be made and in what order they come in. I went into a lot more of a technical explanation, but it was like, God, that was my first hint of I missed this. And I still consider it black magic. I mean, I don't understand networking, but that was not my major. Um, let's see. Uh, Man, I'm actually having fun. Uh, Granted, what time is it? It is about 10:30. And I got a pulled pork burrito bowl. good. You should have fun if you're streaming. Yeah, and I usually I play games, but I was like, you know what? I should do a programming stream today. Um, One thing I don't like about this already is you can see it does this weird thing where it kind of takes you. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay, it's showing you like where the class actually starts. No, you're fine. I got sidetracked because I started talking about like my experience, which is not something I do very often because I feel like I don't have. I only have. Well, hell, I feel like I only have like a few years experience and I don't know everything. But, you know, when looking at like my classmates who have went and, you know, done a lot of cool things, and hell, one of them actually took over for one of the instructors that I had because the instructor left. Um, and I was like looking looking at the classmates. They're really cool. Also, thank you for the following, Talk Run. I hope I pronounced that right. Uh, um, I always feel like I suffer from imposter syndrome, like I don't belong. And a lot of my classmates, when I would go visit, and I would actually sit and talk to the classmates and the instructors, or the one classmate and the instructors, they always told me one thing. They're like, "You program games. That is impressive." And I go, "But anyone can program games nowadays." That's my feeling. It's spelt like Tok'ran, but it's um, but yeah, I suffer. I feel like I suffer from imposter syndrome because I look at what everyone else has done that I graduated with, and then I look at what I done and what I've done, and I feel like I haven't really done much. I feel like everyone will suffer with imposter syndrome at least once. That's the thing. Um, but you know what? One thing I need to tell myself is, hey, you're doing you're doing cool things, and you need to remember that in the end it will be worth it. Everyone's career path and journey is different. Yeah. And and honestly, I want to link to somebody who is actually, I hope he's still alive. Twitch.tv/pirate software. I'm going to link to him because I feel like promoting him because he's been a really big kind of help in just he's given a lot of good life advice, and he's talked about imposter syndrome before. And we're gonna do string. We're going to do Pascal case. Oh yeah, I watched Thor 2. He's great. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I've been watching him a lot, and I actually got into watching the Primogen because of him. And those two are entertaining, and I'm actually really glad that I found uh, the channels. And Thor is a big part of the reason I've decided to try and branch out and do software and game development again. The last time I did software and game development, I streamed in this category was when I was trying to learn Rust. Oh boy, that was fun. Um, but yeah, uh, I'm having a lot of fun. Um, is it supposed to rain again? God, I hope not. We just got done with a round of rain yesterday. I'm gonna look. Okay, today partly sunny. We got a 10% chance of showers tonight, 70% chance of rain tomorrow, 50% chance of rain tomorrow night, 20% chance of rain on Friday night, because we got a break Friday. Holy crap. It's going to be beautiful this weekend, minus the rain. Um, but yeah, Thor is a big part of why I'm just like, okay. I live in Minnesota. So, I mean, it's either going to be I live in Minnesota and I'm probably well actually no. In this area we're not too far from the Mississippi, so it's either going to be hot and humid or just hot. Last summer was miserable. Oh man. Uh let's see. I'm going to try to limit myself to 4 cases for these switch statements. Um so we're going to go case duh, 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 case and then double quote. We're going to figure out, continue on but yeah, no. Um, this winter, funny enough, it was extremely dry this winter. We didn't get our first substantial snowfall until January, like maybe December 30th. Oh, I forgot to do this because that's what broke my last switch statement. But yeah, we didn't get our first meaningful snowfall until after Christmas. Even like Christmas Day, it was 40 degrees. So that was like really odd. And I just remember going, this is weird. Doesn't feel right. There should be snow on the ground. Um, have to think of like other case statements too. So like right now, a lot of these are going to be basic and just like the bare bones of what I want to do. So we'll just do this. Well, you continue on with no light source, and then there should be a break here. Uh, let's see. Okay, I actually want to look into Windows Universal Platforms. Okay, it's building. Okay, I was just looking at the Microsoft documentation, which has been very useful. I hope that people understand when I talk about like .NET. Oh yeah, I will always refer to .NET itself as .NET Core, and then if I'm gonna refer to the framework, I'll refer to the framework. Um, I honestly, because I don't know. When it came to .NET Core, I really didn't know the differences between the two until I went to school for game design, and someone explained to me that .NET Core allows for uh, more things to be done, and it is easier for cross-platform development. So I was like, okay, I can see why people want to use it then. Um, so, and I try to learn new things, even if it's just why do we use this instead of this, or why should I use this and why should I use TypeScript instead of JavaScript, or vice versa. I just don't. I there are times I will ask those questions. They may be not very good questions, but sometimes you won't have an answer unless you ask a question. Because for the most part, there are times I don't even know where to begin to look, and maybe asking a question will get you on the right kind of, hey, you should look here and see if this works, or hey, uh, here's some resources you can do for research, or you can look at for research. Um, but getting Oh, I should probably talk about the fun part about getting .NET Core up and running on Arch. It it's different for sure. You don't actually have to do the scripted install or even the manual install. Arch actually has the .NET SDK and runtime available in the AUR. So that was actually fairly painless. Um, and you continue on with no light source. We're going to go break. We're going to hit enter. We're going to case. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Find light source. Um, and then case, and then we'll do the other case here. I'm just doing, the most, I think what I kind of see is the most common um, way of typing. Very rarely do I ever, unless completely on accident, use full caps lock or capitalize every word. So, okay, we're gonna do break, just so I don't forget to put the break there because it will get mad. Um, kind of excited for lunch because I'm having a. I just looked at the time and thought, oh, it's almost lunchtime. Uh, I'm having a pulled pork burrito bowl with jalapenos and I think two different kinds of rice. It's gonna be good. It's leftovers, but it's good. Console dot right line. I can't spell decide to find a light source. You decide to find a light source. I'm trying to figure out how I want this to work. Because right now, uh, I'm kind of just trying to get like the basic setup for the main game. And right now, I'm just kind of failing at that. Um, I'm probably being way too hard on myself, but as long as I can get the skeleton of the main game up and running, that'll be fine. That'll be, mission accomplished. But we'll wait and see. And honestly, I should turn on some music. Just because, I don't know. Infinity awaits us. Before I even play it, I'm going to make sure. Okay. Okay. I'm going to just turn it down. I can turn it down through my headphones too. I'm going to just check the audio here so I. Because I've always hated just programming in pure silence. And I'm going to link this if you ever want to listen to it. So, uh, I should probably set up like Nightbot or something. I'm gonna check the audio readouts here. I don't think that'll be too loud, but if it is, yell at me in chat and let me know. You decide to find a light source. Thinking to there has to be something you can use. So I have to figure out, because I want to do two options here. One that involves the floor, like just seeing if you can find something, see if you can find something that's on the floor that you can use, feel around on the floor or feel on the wall, use the wall for guidance to find like a torch or something. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But you know, um, that's the thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do for number two. Instead of deleting a whole line of text, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna hit the escape character for the new line, which has to be inside the quotes. One thing I'm not so sure of is if there's any other way to end a line in C Sharp. Like instead of just doing the \n, you know, so actually I could look that up. Hold on. No. That's not what I want. Okay, environment.newline. Interesting. Okay. So I could use \n or environment.newline. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so we can do game choice equals console. dot read line. I'm actually going to see if this works. And I'm going to put a comment here just to specify what this is. Light source switch. Also, for people watching the VOD, I hope that, well, I'm going to make this known. I don't have IntelliSense. I don't have any IntelliSense plugins with Visual Studio Code. So I am going to have to write things out completely. So do keep that in mind as you watch this. Game choice. Um, there has to be something you can use. Do you check the wall? So we'll just use that exact case then. And then we hit Alright, I'm trying to keep an eye on the time here because I do want to take some time to eat here. And I'll probably go offline temporarily so I can eat at about, what time is it? It is about 11 o'clock. So, check wall, check wall. And then we're going to do a break. We're just going to get this. Let me see here. I wonder if I shouldn't change that case, that second case that I want to do. I'm gonna make sure I spelled it right. I gotta make sure I spell it right. Scroll over. And whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, scroll, scavenge for one. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to scroll over that far. Case and then bang, boom. I don't know if I spelled that right, but we'll paste it in here for now. I will probably change the wording of that case. Menu option. Oh, I see what we can do here. So instead of... Okay, so I could already see a problem happening with this. Where if... I haven't even added a default here, so I probably should do that. And also make sure, like, hey... We're gonna go here. This is gonna break things for now, but there should probably be something else. Just for simplicity's sake. It should be before that, I think. I wonder. Yeah, I could already see a problem with this because it's gonna overwrite this, and since this is running a switch. I can see overwriting that being a problem. Alright. String light source. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Should do a while here. And then we'll have it. Which means I have to indent some of these. Man, it's already getting sloppy because I'm noticing stuff that's There we go. And I'll just use the same default that I used. Here. I'm curious what it's gonna yell at me for now. Oh, we have an error here. 27. Oh. That's all. I just forgot it. Dang old, Ooh, 9 errors this time. Oh. I forgot to finish that. Hold on. Eight errors. Convert type. There's gotta be a way to check. Hold on. I actually want to read some of these. CS29 cannot implicitly convert type string to bool on line 21. Oh, I see. Oh, that's why. That's what it's supposed to be, is console.readline. Cannot implicitly. Okay. 4433. So line 44. 2232. I'm betting those are all related. Clear. And then... Oh. Cannot fall. Okay, hold on. Let me read these. Cannot... See, these are the same, but I'm almost willing to bet 4433, huh? Haven't I done that before? Okay. yes, cannot implicitly convert string to type bool. This is the fun part. Because it's saying on line 21 we did it, which we did. Maybe it's not supposed to be double equal. Maybe it's supposed to be this one. But that's setting it equal. That's not comparing it. Wait. Hold on. Why did I put a switch there and then have it? Why did I do that? Yeah, I'm gonna clear after every build because 3 warnings, 4 errors. Okay, 21, 27. So line 21, 27 characters in. Well, okay. Well, let me look and see how I did it. Okay, I did it the first time, where while menu option equals an empty string. Interesting. Clear. Build. People are like, why do you do this? Which one? 34, 31. 34. Line 34 is the error. Oh! Wait a minute. That's not right. 21, 27. Cannot implicitly convert. Okay. So why is it bringing... Okay, now it's saying, line 21. I've done that before. Where it was menu option. Because what we're doing is we're comparing it. Is the value string to bool? But I set that, right? Yeah. While game choice equals null, then you go into the cases. 4829. Okay, so let's go in order here. 3125. So line 31. Wait a minute, something's broken here. I may have just screwed the code. Okay. So for right now, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to comment out this. No, fun. This is gonna be fun because now I get to do this, and we'll do a multi-line. See if doing a multi-line comment actually fixes the problem. Star / Why is it not? I'm trying to do a multi-line comment, but it's getting mad at whatever I'm trying to do, so... Oh, wait. It's /star. I think that's for this one? I'm thinking, anyway. So what we should do is kind of... I think it's... Okay, I found it. /. Because I want to see if that's, like, something in that particular section is broken. Okay, what error? Local variable light source choice. 3431. Let me fix that. Because if it is this entire code block here, fine. I'll rewrite it, you know. Hopefully in a much more... And I'm betting you that's what it is it's the code block, because... One error, okay. 5827. Let me guess, it doesn't need to break anything. Oh yeah, no, it's that entire... Wait, that's a... Yeah, 5827, okay. Because that's for this break right here. That's for this entire statement right here. So, we'll figure it out. .NET build. One error. Hey, 5723 error switch expected. Oh. Okay. I'm betting you. Okay, so why is it saying switch expected here? Okay, what is this one for then? Oh, this one's not needed. That's why. But this one is, I guess. Trying to fix this is gonna be a fun mess. So. Okay, we have one error on line 18. Cannot fall through. Dang it. Oh, I forgot to break. And I'm betting you... What do you do? Continue on. That's it. I think that's it right there. Based on that, that's the end of our start game. Three warnings, zero errors. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's this entire line of code from this string here. Okay. I will be right back. All right. That was kind of like, well, okay. We're going to say you decide to find light source. I'm going to actually put a comment here. End of new game case. Oh. All Alright, it's 11:30. Okay, so then we do basically what we just did, while light is equal to an empty string. Console dot right line console dot right line or no, that should be read line. That should be read line, not right line. Yeah, read line. And then we do a switch light source choice. Case. I am going to use the exact wording I used from the prompts, so do check wall, check the wall, case, basically what I'm doing is the same as doing if light source choice equals check the wall dot two lower or two lowercase, two uppercase. You'd have to do two, you wouldn't have to do two if statements, but you'd have to do two statements within one if statement. So it would be if light source choice equals check the wall in the case that I just put. So the normal case, two vertical pipes, light source choice equals check the wall in all lowercase or two lower. Or no, you'd have to do check the wall all lowercase. That's basically what I'm doing here. So we're gonna check the wall. And I'm actually going to say we're going to do a few extra ones here. Case, check, wall. Case, check, wall. Did I put numbers by those prompts? Because if so, I can always add in the number prompts too as a separate thing. As a case for these. I don't think I did for the... Oh, yes, I did. So we'll do... one. Kind of want to do there's only a right answer here. There's one right answer here, but I'm not sure how I want to word that statement here, so we'll do a new line. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if that would work. You feel something wouldn't. Because that's the thing now is using the walls for guidance. And I'll just kind of put a comma there. And then I will... Hopefully I remember using the wall for guidance. I don't know whether I want to have it be like you feel something metallic kind of being the thing that's holding the torch in place, or you feel the torch itself. And then we have another switch. And then of course we need a break to break. Okay, so in about 30 minutes I'm going to take a lunch break. We're going to work as hard as we can to get to that point. Actually, what I should do is always have OBS pulled up on screen. And then we'll have case. I think I know how I want to do this part, so like I know how to set this up. It's just, do I want to have the floors just be absolutely spotless, and then I don't know. That's a good question. Case, and then we'll because I was thinking more of a torch instead of a flashlight. That's what I'm trying to figure out here, is what I want to do. I'm literally gonna go, you can't see. How can you look for wood? Sorry for like the really loud drinking noise, but I wanted some Mountain Dew. So we should do a... Um... However, it's dark and you cannot see. I want to add more to this. Like... And I'm gonna do a new line here. Okay. Alright, I do hope everyone's having a good day, though. Man, it looks cloudy like it could rain. I want to look at a radar. Excuse me. Okay, tomorrow it's supposed to rain, so... Okay, it's just like super cloudy today. Notice how I'm very careful. And there's a reason I'm using like different strings and stuff is because I have a feeling that game choice would be easily rewritable, and I'm just like, okay, we're gonna do specific choices then, because I don't want to risk setting it back to an empty string and then it resetting the game. You know. Um. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to save this. All right, with it being 11:30, like 20 to noon. I know I said I was going to take a break at noon, so we got a little while longer before I actually go and take a break, and I might come back a little later with something different. Who knows? Um. Okay, so that's our break. I was gonna find our default case, which I think is at the very bottom. Which I just want this console right line here. Really. Okay. Yeah. I'm talking to my girlfriend. Feel bad. I've been live like all morning, and um, where defaults. Oh dear. Oh yeah, that's right. That's probably one of the easiest things I can do. And then light. There we go. I probably spelled scavenge wrong. End of. End of continue on. End of find light source case here. I'm gonna quickly just. Alright. Oh, we got an error. Where is it? 34, 31, huh? Let me see if just assigning it that value actually gives it that, and then... Yeah, because the one error it gives is use of unassigned local variable. So I just didn't assign anything to it. Well, at least I know it's stuff I can build. Okay, yeah, no, the one problem... So I'm gonna see, like, what build tasks we have quick, because I'm curious. No build task to run. Okay. So I can't really do anything with the run build command, so, or the run build task, so I gotta do everything from terminal. I'm actually gonna create the Git repo so that when we're done, I can just push everything. Okay, we're gonna create it. And just like that. Alright. We're gonna commit them. it's currently I'm working through getting everything committed because it's like, okay, I want to have a backup, and that's actually why I went quiet. I'm trying to like get everything set up because I've never used Code OSS and GitHub's integration. I actually didn't know that Code OSS had some form of integration with Code OSS. I know VS Code it did, but there are differences between the three. So, yeah. Well, like I said, for lunch today, I'm having a pulled pork burrito bowl. And probably a Mountain Dew. We're gonna commit project files. I can't spell commit right. I spelled it commit. Commit. And I'm gonna make sure that it didn't push the changes through. Okay, commit project files. Perfect. Sync changes. Yes. Perfect. And it's all there. Perfect. And the code is there. Perfect. So at the end of every stream that I work on this project, I will run the commit command unless there are like serious errors that I need to fix. So I wanted to get all that done and all that stuff, so I think we're gonna go to just chatting now. But yeah, it was a productive first day. I spent an hour trying to fix everything, and it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't. So I'm gonna go get my food, and we will see you later. Well, we still got a couple minutes. I'm probably gonna be back on a little later to work on this some more. I just want to have some time to eat and think about how I want to continue on with this. So, I do hope that you all enjoyed today's programming stream, and I do hopefully I'll get code LLDB to actually reset. Because it's still yelling at me to restart the extension. The Mono Debug tool. Sorry, I'm looking at my VS Code extensions that I have installed on this machine. But yeah, we have now sent our first commit to GitHub, and I'm excited. So, I think we're gonna go right till 12 noon, and then I'm gonna eat because I'm getting kind of hungry and I'm ready for lunch. It's also been just a really fun day to just program and see people. I may be on later. I don't know 100% sure yet, but I know I'll be on tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow will be the start of my schedule, and the schedule is going to be. I'm actually going to edit that while we're here. I'm going to open up another tab. Analytics, research achievements. I'm trying to figure out how video producer settings? No. Channel there. I thought I could. Oh, there's the schedule. Add a stream. And we will say I'm going to plan for 6 hours every Thursday, Wednesday. Well, every Wednesday, Thursday. I wish I could see. The Dark Reader extension just works for some, doesn't work for some, and so I'm gonna try and okay. Friday stream. Okay. Add a stream. I'm updating my schedule right now, so give me a minute here. Actually, we will start it at 1 p.m. and it will go for 6 every Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, add another. So every Wednesday, and I'm just going to copy the name. Every Thursday, and every Friday. Alright, and then we'll export to Google Calendar. Just because then I'm held to a schedule. So, see you guys in the next one. Bye. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you for watching today.